All right, so Dash, today on 30 Teams in 30 Days, we're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. They lost the 8th seed to Portland. They had it, but the NBA. Well, no, actually, they Portland took it from them in the return of and actually the bubble games, and then they had the playing game, and they lost obviously. So what can the Grizzlies do? They got Jamoran. He's going to be an all star. What can the Grizzlies do to shake things up?
I don't know. This Grizzly team is pretty stacked, bro. They're not gonna have much money in salary cap. Like they probably have about $10 million in salary cap, and they have a lot of players that's still on the contract. And I don't really see them bringing in much guys. I don't even know which guys even go to Memphis in free agency. You'll have to throw big money at some guy to go to Memphis, but I like the young core with Jaren Jackson and John Moran, and I like the addition of Valanciunas. I mean, no, they got Justice Window from Miami. I like to see him be healthy with them. They got guys like Tyus Jones. Like I like him. Brandon Clark is going to excel. Dylan Brooks is going to excel. I honestly don't think Memphis does any much this offseason. Like I think they like the young core they have, and I think they're looking at this team and like, well, we like most of the guys we have. I don't think who's on the market that's going to probably make us better. Maybe they bring in like a free agent, like I don't know, maybe like a Wesley Matthews. They could probably bring in, maybe if they throw some money at one of the Morris twins, they can come in. You could always use perimeter defense and you can always use shooting. That's two things in the NBA you always need. Maybe some guy like that, but they're pretty stout at debates with Valanciunas, and then you got guys like Kyle Anderson. Those guys are still getting big money, so I don't think they're ready to get rid of those guys. Backcourt, John Moran, Dylan Brooks, forward positions, Jaren Jackson on Winslow. Like I think they like the team they have, and they're just ready for another year, compete another year for John Moranta, excel another year for Brandon Clark, another year for like their footing to be in the door. I think those guys, they're going to get better and better. Like this Memphis team, this is a pretty good team the way they are currently constructed. Yes, they shocked a lot of people last year, being being in the playoff race most of the year, and we saw like they went to the bubble and they just really couldn't buy a win for whatever reason. I don't know. They did trade away most of their pieces. They did trade away Jay Crowder. I think that hurt them a lot. They did brought in a lot of new pieces midway to the season. I think that caused them to fall off a little bit, like chemistry wise and all that. But I think Memphis is at the point where they're just ready for growth in their team. I don't really think they're ready to make big changes. They're just ready for their players to start growing and getting better and better and better.
Yeah, Memphis. I thought they were gonna. They got a lot of untimely injuries when returning back from the bubble. I think it was either Josh Jackson or Jaron Jackson that one of those guys went down, and we knew that Portland, the way Portland was looking, they were going to take that 8th seed from them. But they put up a pretty good fight. This team, they're a really good team. They have a lot of solid, good potential like young players, up and coming young players, and they surround them with steady veterans. That's what you're supposed to do with a young team, and they got Jamarat, and that it's always you always need that one guy, and they got the number 2 pick in the draft, and Jamarat's gonna be he's probably gonna be a superstar. I don't know if he's gonna be like that franchise changing player that could, really take a team on his back. But he's probably gonna be a superstar in this league. And once you have one of those guys and you have them young, their window, I don't want to say that window is, they probably have like a 4 or 5 year window with him to, keep this guy happy and keep him inside of Memphis. Because other than that, like other than the draft, like these guys we saw with Memphis, they had Marc Gasol and Mike Conley. They had that group going for a while. Those guys were good, but they never really got over the hump. And you can't get free agents come to Memphis. So a guy like Jamoran, this is probably the biggest star they had in years. And he's gonna be a superstar. He's electrifying and he could jump out of the gym. And they gotta keep this guy happy. And I feel like them missing the playoffs, even though it was his first year, they'll come back next year. And I feel like I don't know, man. In the West, I don't know if they make it next year because we see a lot of Golden State coming back. Maybe Houston might drop out. But then you got the Suns. You don't know what the Suns could do, and then you always got the Spurs and stuff. So it could be tough for them. And they're not like in that upper echelon of the West. They're in that mid pack who could be fighting, you know, for like that 10 to 7 spot inside the West. That's where they are. But in terms of what they got going, they have a really good foundation for Ja Morant, but they got to keep building. They can't get complacent. I feel like hopefully Josh Jackson or Jaren Jackson turns into what they're supposed to be. And then you just need to get that second guy alongside Ja Morant. They should be good.
No, I think they're pretty content with Jaren Jackson's acceleration right now. He's been kind of nicked up a bit, but he played pretty good last season. I think they're content with that. So I think that they're just waiting for these guys to grow. Like that's reality of Memphis. If you're Ja Morant, you're the executives of Memphis. You have to be realistic with your team. Like you know your window is not right now. You're not gonna be winning right now when you got LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Stephen Curry, James Harden, and then you got all those guys in the West. Your window is going to be similar to the window with the Mavericks. The Mavericks were the 7th seed this year, and I thought they were a pretty good team. And the reality of it is, Memphis is even a younger team than them. Memphis was the youngest team in the league early on last season before they traded for some of those guys. They were one of the youngest teams in the league, and I think if you're looking at this Memphis team, your first agenda is you got to re-sign Jaren Jackson. He's going to be due for an extension because he came in that draft class with all of Jason Tatum and Alonzo and De'Aaron Fox and Donovan Mitchell. So he's going to need an extension pretty soon. Josh Jackson, if you're planning on keeping him, then Jaren Jackson, he's going into his junior season. I think he's gonna take it to the next level. And Ja Morant, you just gotta maintain a level of consistency, and he needs to improve his outside shot. And
Yeah,
like a lot of guys in this league, you're not gonna win this league as a point guard playing like the way Russell Westbrook plays. You just get into the basket and using that system. Yes, you're going to be flashy. Yes, people are going to like you, but we've seen that that's not the recipe to winning basketball. You have to develop an outside shot if you're going to be a guard in this league. And I think that should be Ja Morant's first agenda this offseason. You need to improve on your outside shot. Also, he needs to get his weight up. Let's be honest. I could go against Ja Morant not be scared of him on defense. He probably weighs like 150 pounds, 6'3", 150 pounds. Like nobody, you're not scaring NBA defenders at that weight. Not at all. And his vertical movement is just not elite for an NBA point guard. If you're going to be a point guard in this league, you're going against Stephen Curry every night. You're in the West, you're going against Stephen Curry, you're going against Damian Lillard, you're going against guys like Russell Westbrook. Every night you're going against a big time point guard, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, all those guys. If you want to be a superstar in this league, Jamaran, you need to improve your defense. Like it's not a joke. The point guard position in NBA, it's not a joke. Like that's really the recipe for winning basketball. You need a good guard, and then you need a powerful forward that can play on both ends of the floor. And so I think they're looking at this team and they're saying, well, we know our window is 2-3 years from now. If we make the playoffs right now, we'd be content with that, because you want to keep the guys happy. But they're looking at it saying 2-3 years from now. But I think they got a really good coach, Taylor Jenkins. Not a lot of people talked enough about him. I honestly think he should have won Coach of the Year because this guy was in his first season as a head coach. He's only 36 years old. I think he's the youngest head coach in the league. And nobody saw this Memphis team. We thought they were going to be one of the last 2 seeds. Who even spoke about Memphis coming into the season? Yes, Ja Morant went there. A lot of people were kind of mad that he went there because they're like, nobody's going to watch him. Nobody's going to be watching Memphis. So people are kind of mad. And all of a sudden, these guys are in the playoff race in the West over teams like Portland, over teams like the Spurs that have been making the playoffs in the West the past 10 years consistently.
Years.
This Memphis team was just there competing.
Yeah, Memphis, they had a good run this year. I really wanted them to make the playoffs because it's a good boost of confidence for the players, and gives us a good sense of direction of where the franchise is heading into. But I don't see them, like you said, their window is in now, but I don't see them making the playoffs next year for sure. So
I'll tell you what. Memphis, right now, I don't think they're a playoff team. I think it's kind of ambitious to think that they're gonna be a playoff team, especially with guys like with the Warriors coming back. Phoenix is gonna get better. Portland is probably gonna make some moves. So it's ambitious think they're gonna make the playoffs, but at the end of the day, I really wouldn't be surprised if they do. Like this team somehow they would just find like ways to
I
win
would be
games, and
surprised.
usually I wouldn't bet on them to make the playoffs, but this is one team that we just need to keep our eye on as fans in the NBA, as teams in the NBA. Y'all need to keep your eyes on the Memphis Grizzlies because 2-3 years from now, these boys, when guys like LeBron's probably gonna be retired in 4 years, Harden is going to be out the west. Stephen Curry, they're going to be on their last few fumes. 2-3 years from now, these boys have potential to be one of the powerhouses in the Western Conference.
Yep.